If you kick it with my eyes, just don't canary. Put some beds all on your head like Jackson Terry. Rachel Millie, cause a Lambo. Known to keep the fatty, don't commando. Every time I'm in my trap, I move like Rainbow. Ain't a neighborhood in Philly that I can't go. Real. She said, oh, you rich, rich. I graduated, call me big fish. I got loaded already on my wish list. That's the only thing I want for Christmas. I been in my way out here, yeah, no, that's facts. You ain't living like what you said, yeah, we know that's cat. You ain't got that ass in when you see me, no, I'm straight. DCOVO, we back again, going back. Just a little 10-piece for it, just a blood in a mall. Doesn't mean that we involved. I just put a Richard on the card. I ain't gon' play the ball, but I show you how you got to do it if you really want to fall to the bomb and your back against the wall. And I'm what you need you to go away. Still going back anyway. Saw you last night, but didn't walk.
Welcome in to James Monroe High School here in Linside, where tonight all of Monroe County has turned out for what should be a fantastic basketball matchup between Greenbrier East and James Monroe. They've been talking about this one, including on the Greenbrier East side, since the opening game of the season. Greenbrier East opened the season with a win over this same club, 63-43. And Coach Justice said then he knew the rematch was going to be a good one. Greenbrier East has to go into the Mavericks' den here, so to speak, at James Monroe. And this team has been getting better and better as the season goes along. And as Coach Justice said a moment ago, as we'll hear in his pregame comments, this is sort of their Super Bowl. So they want to beat their neighbors across the county line, and they're laying in wait and ready for us. So it should be a fantastic game tonight. Cam Huffman joined by Eric Workman. And Eric, it's a lot of anticipation for this one. Should be a fun one.
There is a lot of anticipation on both sides. I've heard it from both sides for a couple of weeks now that everybody's excited to play this game, and you can tell the crowd showed up. It's loud in here, and it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Obviously, the first time they met, Greenbrier East really sort of controlled the action, winning by 20, and it was never particularly close in that game. But what did you see, and what do you think Coach Justice saw out of this James Monroe team that make you think that this game could be different this time around?
They're really athletic, and they're at home, and they got the buzz behind them at home. They overall, they're pretty good basketball players, but you add the athleticism they show to the court against Greenbrier East. They're quick in spots, and they can score in spots, and they score very well going downhill. So they're going to try to get to the basket and then kick it out maybe for an open shot if they can get one.
Well, it should be an interesting ball game. Greenbrier East coming off back-to-back wins. They won the final game in the battle for the Spring House, knocking off Nitro, and then came back and won easily last night against Oak Hill. This will be their third game in 4 days, so not a lot of rest for Greenbrier. Actually, yeah, not a lot of rest for Greenbrier East as they are going to be busy this last couple of weeks of the season. But that's kind of what you want headed into toward the postseason, is to really test your team and get ready for a postseason run.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at our postseason, what we got to get through. It's the gauntlet, I'm going to call it tonight, because everyone in the section's gotten better. Princeton's gotten better. Woodrow's, of course, has gotten better. Greenbrier East, we're getting on track now, so we're going to be dangerous when it gets there. And there's a lot of good coming in our section, but it's going to be a lot of tough roads to get through it.
All right, when we come back, we'll hear the pregame thoughts of head coach Jim Justice here on the Fritz's Pharmacy of Alderson Lady Spartan Countdown. Stay with us. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93 WKCJ.
Now Alcova Mortgage is here for good. We're locally owned, value great communication, and are committed to our Lewisburg community. Alcova Mortgage Lewisburg, 304-645-2478, or visit lewisburglender.com for your mortgage lending needs. Alcova Mortgage, NMLS ID 40508, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to credit approval. Alcova Mortgage, Lewisburg.
Did you hear that? The State Farm thing. Da-da-da-da-da. I think we're in a commercial. Jake from State Farm, I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
Dad, look!
Christmas!
Ooh, see? Surprising. Just like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
I didn't even record.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We're Moco shirt signs and embroidery. For Southern West Virginia, we can handle all your needs. From signs to apparel to uniforms, we offer all the services that you're looking for. Choose Moco, yeah, Moco for embroidery and more. Call 304-772-4444.
Welcome back to the Fritz's Pharmacy of Alderson Ladies Spartan Countdown, joined now by head coach Jim Justice. Coach, last night, slow start for your girls. You pulled the starters off the floor, let some of the reserves play the rest of the opening quarter, and then they respond in a big way. You shot the ball fantastic and had a big win over Oak Hill.
Well, you know, I told them at halftime, I said, look, first of all, this community expects you to come out and give full effort. And there's people in those stands that take their time and come out and buy tickets and expect you to do that. And we're not going to do what we did in the first quarter. That's all there is to it. But you know, they respond. They played well and everything the rest of the way, and we played like we ought to play.
You shoot 50% from the field in the game. You make 12 threes. Is that the best your team has shot all season long?
Well, yeah, probably so, Cam. You know, especially when you think, well, you make 12 threes. Well, Caden's probably had 6 of them, but no, she had 1.
Right.
You know, and so really and truly, that's saying something. And I was really especially happy for McKenna because McKenna had really struggled shooting a bunch and everything. And those shots going in are confidence builders, and that's good.
Hannah, 10 points, 6 rebounds. It's kind of what you've been talking about all season with her. It's coming along.
I'll tell you, anybody that doesn't see what Hannah Fuller's doing is living in a cave. You know, that kid's getting better and better and better and better. And she's still probably a year away or 6 months away from where we want her to be. But that kid, if she keeps on this trajectory, that kid's going to be really special.
Tonight's game on the road at James Monroe, you said for weeks that this test was going to be a tough one. This James Monroe team's getting better. What are your expectations tonight?
If we don't come right out of the gate and get some kind of lead and stay ahead and really play a basketball game, we'll be in for a dogfight. If not, get run out of the gym. That's just all there is to it. Because they are better. This is their Super Bowl, you know, and they got a great school and just absolutely the boys team is unreal. They're ranked probably 6th or whatever in their division. And, yeah, they want to win this one real bad.
No doubt about it. When you look at the matchups, obviously you know them well. What areas do you think you can attack? Where do you think you have an advantage?
Well, you know, normally speaking, you know, you would think, well, like Princeton. Unless Princeton's really changed their makeup, Princeton can't shoot the ball, you know, and so we pack it in real tight against it. This team has bigs, and they got shooters, and they got ball handlers. They've got a lot of different dimensions there. We have to play basketball as we play. We don't really need to worry about them. We got to execute and play our game tonight and everything, and that's what it'll be all about.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck. Get us a win and stay on this win streak. Keep it going as we head toward the postseason.
All right, Cam, thank you, buddy.
Thank you. There he is, head coach Jim Justice. When we come back, it'll be time for action here in Linside. It's James Monroe and Greenbrier East next.
The power of three: Greenbrier Chevrolet, Greenbrier Motor Company, and Greenbrier Ford. 3 dealerships who pay the most for your trade. I'm talking up to 33% over what other dealerships will offer, and way more than you'll get if you try to sell it yourself. In fact, we'll buy your car even if you don't buy one from us. So not only are the Greenbrier dealerships the best place to buy a car, they're also the best place to sell your car. So get to the Greenbrier dealerships in Lewisburg today and convert that car to cash.
Hi, I'm Janet Niehawk with S.J. Niehawk Lumber, your home solution for 75 years. Whether your project's small or large, we can help fill your needs. Good luck to the athletes and coaching staff of Greenbrier East Spartans for the year 2022-23. Go Spartans!
All right, everyone, please stand for the singing of the national anthem.
Back in Linside, inside James Monroe High School. The starting lineups are being introduced right now. For Greenbrier East, it's going to go with the same starting lineup they had last night. And Kennedy Stewart, Caden Stewart, Caroline Dotson, Ryan White, and Hannah Fuller. That'll be the starting lineup for the Spartans. James Monroe being introduced right now. They're going to go with Mary Beth Meadows, Maggie Borowski, Haley Honeycutt, Ava Dunlap, and Addison Hines. That'll round out the starting lineup for the James Monroe Mavericks. Mavericks tonight wearing their home white jerseys. Mavericks across the chest in purple with purple numerals trimmed in black. Purple down the side of the jersey and the side of the shorts with the JM logo on the shorts. Greenbrier East is in its road greens tonight. Spartans across the chest in gold, gold numerals trimmed in white. A gold piping down the side of the jersey and the shorts, and the Spartan logo on the hip. We're about ready for tip-off. Stepping into the center circle is going to be Maggie Borowski for James Monroe and Hannah Fuller for Greenbrier East. Mavericks come in 13-5, Greenbrier East 10-6. Again, the Spartans a 20-point winner back to open the season in November. Ball's thrown in the air, tipped by Fuller, but ends up in the hands of James Monroe as Dunlap goes to the basket, can't get it to go. Here comes Greenbrier East the other way. Kennedy Stewart with it as she crosses the Maverick at midcourt. She gets it inside to Fuller. Fuller lays it off the glass and scores. Nice pass there by Kennedy Stewart, looking for the Greenbrier East big early, and Hannah makes them pay. Now back the other way. Fuller has a steal, ends up in the hands of Ryan White. White has it poked away, but gets it back to Kennedy Stewart. Spartans lead it 2-0, 7:30 to go. Kennedy with it between the circles, dribbles back and forth between the right and the left. She gets on a wing, right wing to Cadence. Cadence backs it out, now gets it inside, just inside the foul line to Dotson. Dotson down in the corner now to Ryan White. She dribbles up top, nearly met a double team. James Monroe backs off. Ball's poked away there by Honeycutt, but it'll roll out of bounds and stay with Greenbrier East.
I'll tell you, a lot of pressure from James Monroe starting out.
We talked about this James Monroe team being a little different than it was when the teams first met. I think the progress of Hannah Fuller might make Greenbrier East a little different as well. You see them trying to go to her early as Kennedy Stewart was double teamed but dribbled through it and gets it off to Cadence. Now Cadence on the right wing, down in the right corner to Ryan White. White dribbles back to the wing, had it nearly stolen as she hands it off to Dotson. Dotson feeds it inside to Fuller. Fuller was open once again. This time the layup won't go, and James Monroe clears the rebound. Honeycutt with it back the other way, gets it on the wing to Borowski. Borowski back to Honeycutt on the right wing. She throws it all the way across the court to Mary Beth Meadows. She fires a three from the left wing and hits it.
Tell you what, she's caught a lot of traction for James Monroe lately. She's been shooting it pretty good, so Greenbrier East going to find her for sure.
James Monroe takes its first lead at 3-2 on the three. Now up top with it, Ryan White. Gives it to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy drives in the lane, finds some space, gets it to Hannah. Hannah wide open, another layup good. Greenbrier East going to Hannah Fuller early and often, and she's making James Monroe pay right now as it's 4-3. Here's a turnover on the other end. Ryan White has a steal, feeds it ahead to Caden Stewart. Stewart lays it off the glass and scores it. 6-3 now Greenbrier East as the Spartans have scored 4 straight. Back on the other end is Addison Hines, and she had Caden Stewart on her hip, and we're going to get a foul called against Stewart. Her first, team's first. Greenbrier East leading at 6-3 with 5:53 to go here in the opening quarter. Inbounds pass to Borowski. She goes now right wing to Honeycutt. Honeycutt inside to Hines. Hines had it stripped away. Here comes Kennedy Stewart with it, pushing the tempo. Stewart now into the front court. She backs it out, finds Cadence on the wing. Deep three from Cadence Stewart is a little short. Cadence tries to track down her own rebound, and as she does, she'll be whistled for a foul. Her second of the game. You don't see Cadence Stewart in foul trouble often.
No, that's a quick 2 on her for sure.
2 early ones here with 5:35 to go, and Greenbrier East leading 6-3. Coach Justice going to leave her on the floor, and I understand that decision because Cadence not prone to picking up a lot of fouls.
No, she's a super smart player as well, so he's confident she could be fine.
Now on the wing, Honeycutt steps in just inside the three-point arc, lets it go, misses everything, and Cadence has the rebound. Here comes Cadence through a double team as she crosses midcourt. Cadence at the foul line. Cadence to the block. Cadence off the board and scores it. Caden Stewart has 4. Greenbrier East now has 8 and leads it 8-3 early. Spartans showing a little pressure in the backcourt this time as James Monroe gets it through it, gets it to Hines on the wing. Hines going to drive through the defense. Nobody stopped her. She went right to the glass and scored. 8-5 now. Greenbrier East leads it.
Somebody for Greenbrier East has got to step over it right there. There's maybe a possible opportunity for a charge or at least stop the ball coming down the lane.
Kennedy finds a little space in the lane as she kicks it back out to the wing to Dotson. Dotson, nice move to get inside. She had Hannah Fuller open, but she throws it off the foot of Maggie Borowski. We're going to get a kickball called, and it'll stay with Greenbrier East. That was nearly another perfect feed to Fuller.
It was. They're definitely leaving her down.
She's been active early. Kennedy Stewart will inbound underneath the basket. She looks over the defense, throws it way up top on the wing to Ryan White. White now down the corner to Caden Stewart. Caden drives to the elbow, now backs it back out to the wing. Caden's now foul line, gives it to Kennedy left wing. Her 3 rolls out. Rebound, Addison Hines of James Monroe. Here comes Hines, pestered by Dotson at midcourt. She gets it off to Honeycutt, and then back up top to Mary Beth Meadows. They'll reset the offense. 3 ball from the wing from Honeycutt, no good. Kennedy Stewart has the rebound. Here comes Kennedy, finds a streaking Caroline Dotson, goes to the basket. Dotson puts it up and scores, but she's called for steps first. Caroline Dotson, I think, was so open, she got a little too excited, forgot to put the ball on the hardwood.
She took that 3rd step. Oh, my goodness, that was a pass all the way across the court.
Quickly, James Monroe works through the pressure. They had it inside to Haley Honeycutt, but Caroline Dotson knocked it away underneath the basket. It'll stay with James Monroe. Spartans leading at 8-5 with 4 minutes exactly to go here in the opening quarter. Inbounds pass from Borowski, thrown up top to Hines. Hines now gets it on the wing. 3 ball on the way from Mary Beth Meadows. She hits her second 3, and she pulls her team back even. Now it's 8-8. You said, Eric, you're going to have to find her as she's lighting it up from 3-point range now. Kennedy tries to answer on the other end. Her 3 is strong off the back iron. Big rebound there, though, by Cadence. She's trapped down in the corner, tries to throw it to Ryan White. The ball's loose on the floor. As White goes for it, she's bumped, and I believe we're going to get a foul against Addison Hines. That is the case. Hines whistled for the foul, so Greenbrier East will inbound underneath its own basket. Kennedy Stewart triggers the inbound, gets it to Ryan White in the right corner. White backs it out, now gets it to Cadence on the wing. Cadence going to drive in, has some space on her way to the basket, lays it off the glass, no good. Fuller left her feet too early, couldn't get the rebound, and back comes Borowski on the other end. Borowski feeds it to Honeycutt. Honeycutt drives, lays it off the glass, scores it. James Monroe back in front once again. It's 10-8. Mavericks as we go back and forth here in the opening quarter. Kennedy Stewart driving on the other end. She gets to the lane, puts it up, no good. Fuller there with the rebound, bucket and a foul. Hannah Fuller has been huge here early on. She has 6 points. That one ties the game, and she's going to go to the line to try to give the lead back to the Spartans as she tries to complete the conventional 3-point play.
I missed who the foul was on, Cam.
Eric, I apologize. I did too. We're across the gym from the scorer's table, so it's
That's
hard
right.
to tell even when the official signals it. Fuller sinks the free throw. She has 7, and Greenbrier East back on top 11-10. We're just going back and forth right now. Mary Beth Meadows just inside the arc this time. Can't get it to go, but a big rebound there by Dunlap. Dunlap gets it to Borowski. Borowski back out to Haley Honeycutt for a 3 off the rim, no good. Hannah Fuller there to pull down a big, strong rebound. Here comes Cadence dribbling through traffic. She's all alone right now in the front court as she gets it on the wing. 3 ball fired up there, no good by Dotson. Dotson has it back between the circles. Now gives it to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy has a little space, gets it back to Cadence. Cadence fakes the 3, now pulls up top of the key and shoots one off the back iron, no good, too strong. Back come the Mavericks pushing the tempo. Borowski tries to throw it ahead to Dunlap. She threw it a little too far. It'll roll out of bounds and turn back over to Greenbrier East. 2:25 to go. Spartans lead it 11-10, and we've been back and forth here in this opening quarter.
I feel like Greenbrier East didn't get into any offense the last couple trips down the floor. The first few trips we scored, we were getting the ball in the post to Hannah Fuller, which we know is what Coach wants, so hopefully we can get back to that right here.
Yeah, Fuller, 7 early points. She's been the difference for Greenbrier East right now. Caroline Dotson has it just inside the arc on the left wing. She hands it off to Ryan White. White drives baseline, had a little space, tried to get it to Fuller. Now White steals it back. Now inside to Fuller. Fuller puts it up and scores. 9 first quarter points from Hannah Fuller. She's got the Spartans going, and it's 13-10. Back come the Mavericks. Addison Hines from the wing puts it up, no good, and Caden Stewart pulls down another rebound. She's been big on the glass early on as the clock ticks inside a minute to go in the opening quarter. Kennedy back the other way, her team up by 3, 1:44 showing on the clock. Now left wing, Cadence for a 3, strong off the back iron. Ryan White in the air for the rebound. She's trapped there, and we're going to get a tie-up. Possession error will point to Greenbrier East. White, nice job going into the air to get the rebound. She just pulled it down. Needs to keep that ball up where they can't tie it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, what a quarter by Hannah Fuller so far. We got a minute 35. She's almost in double digits. You know coach is loving that.
Inbound pass to Ryan White on the left elbow, and she sinks the jumper. Big shot there by Ryan White, and the Spartans extend their lead to 5. James Monroe trying to push the tempo back the other way. Mary Beth Meadows pulls up just inside the foul line, no good, but they get the rebound, kick it back out to Honeycutt. Honeycutt fires a 3, no good, and Caroline Dotson tracks down the rebound. 1:16 to go here in the opening quarter. Spartans lead it by 5. Dotson brings it across midcourt. She gets it to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy drives, gets it to Fuller. Fuller loses it this time in the paint, and back come the Mavericks. Honeycutt pushing it to the basket, and nice play there by Caroline Dotson to get in and affect the shot. They will whistle her for the foul, but
I tell you,
not a whole lot of contact there.
Sorry to interrupt you, Cam.
No, you're good.
Hannah's tired. Like, you know what I mean? That play right there was Hannah being tired. So the coach will sub her out and get her a break and get her back in at the start of the second, I'm sure.
What a quarter she's had, though. 9 points early on as the first free throw from Honeycutt is no good. Hannah has nearly outscored James Monroe right now. It's James Monroe 10, Hannah 9. She's had a little help, and the Spartans lead at 15-10.
Actually, coach left Hannah in and took Cadence Stewart out.
Cadence has those 2 fouls. I guess he's going to try to squeak out a minute here to go in this first quarter and see if he can keep her on the floor. Honeycutt has one more. This one rolls out, hit the front of the rim, then touched every part of the rim before rolling off the side, and Greenbrier East has the rebound. McClure has it stolen away as she tried to get it to Kennedy Stewart, and off of the steal, Maggie Borowski was fouled. I believe that went against.
It was McKenna.
McKenna, yep.
She got her with the tackle. I like the effort, playing hard. Good stuff.
51 seconds on the clock. Greenbrier East leads at 15-10. James Monroe basketball as Mary Beth Meadows sets up the offense. She gets it down the corner to Honeycutt. She fires a 3, misses it all, and Ryan White there to pull down the rebound. White, though, tied up. She loses the ball to Hines. Hines to Borowski. Borowski puts it up and scores. 15-12 now. James Monroe setting up a little pressure. Ryan White trying to break through it. She throws it at the feet of Kennedy Stewart. Ball's turned over, but Kennedy gets it back on the steal. Kennedy now has it knocked out of her hands. It'll stay with Greenbrier East as it rolls out right in front of the James Monroe bench. We've got 19 seconds on the clock, and Greenbrier East will inbound. Kennedy has it. She's going to hold for the last shot now. Spartans lead it 15-12. Clock down to 13, 12, 11, and ticking. Kennedy goes back and forth from the right to the left hand as Maggie Borowski comes out and shows a little pressure. Clock down to 5 now as Kennedy dribbles to the right wing. She drives baseline, met there, can't get it out, and Caroline Dotson won't get off a shot. So that's going to do it for the end of the first quarter. We've played one. Greenbrier East leads at 15-12. We'll be back here in Linside. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93 WKCJ.
The Bank of Monroe knows what it means to be local and support local. We are your neighbors. We grow as you grow. We are your local lenders, making local decisions. We are part of your community. The Bank of Monroe offers 3 locations in Lewisburg, Fairleigh, and Union with mobile and online banking. We are everywhere you need us to be. We care. Bank local with the Bank of Monroe. Visit us online, mybankofmonroe.com.
Start of the second quarter. Greenbrier East leading James Monroe 15-12. Spartans setting up in their 2-3 defense on the opposite end of the floor. It's going to be James Monroe basketball. Going left to right on your radio dial is the Mavericks inbound to Mary Beth Meadows. Meadows sets it up, looks over the zone, gets it up top to Borowski. Borowski dribbles on the wing now, hands off to Honeycutt. Honeycutt going to drive against Caroline Dotson, has her shot blocked. It'll roll out of bounds and stay with the Mavericks. Good block there by Caroline Dawson. She's been big on the defensive end early on.
She lives in the defensive end, doesn't she? She's a great defensive player.
Hines fires a three from the left wing and hits it. James Monroe shooting the ball well early on, and that three ties the game at 15 here with 7:35 to go. Kennedy Stewart across midcourt now, gets it to Dotson on the right wing. Now back to Stewart. Stewart drives, has a wide open McKenna McClure on the wing. She puts it up, air ball, too long. Here come the Mavericks on the attack, trying to push the tempo. Meadows ahead, gets it to the wing to Honeycutt. Honeycutt going to fire a three, air ball, didn't touch iron, and it's going to roll out of bounds, turn over to Greenbrier East. We're knotted here at 15, 7:14 to go in the second quarter. It's been a good one so far, a lot of back and forth.
I'll tell you, both teams need to get into their offenses here. Both teams are better when they start passing the ball quickly and get them moving, especially against zone defenses like this.
Kennedy Stewart tried to throw it across court to her sister, but Haley Honeycutt stepped in the way, goes to the length of the floor, lays it up and scores. Just a telegraphed pass there by Kennedy Stewart, and Borowski read it well. Mavericks lead at 17-15. Back on the other end, Caroline Dotson trying to go to the rim. She has it slapped away, but into the hands of McKenna McClure. She dribbles out, feeds it inside to Fuller. Fuller loses it on the ground. She's tied up there with Addison Hines, and possession arrow will stay with Greenbrier East.
Right now, Greenbrier East throwing a lot of lob passes. You can't do that. I know Coach is sitting there telling them that. You got to throw against the zone. You got to work it quicker. Where the passes are too slow, and it lets them react, and it's hard to score against.
Hannah Fuller's going to get that break she needed as Liz Wooding checks into the game. Off the inbounds pass from Kennedy to Cadence. Cadence lays it off the glass and scores it to tie the game. 17 all now with 6:30 to go. Back up top, Addison Hines has it. She's going to be called for steps. Turnover to Greenbrier East. Liz Wooding inbounds in front of the Spartan bench. She gets it in to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy across midcourt, throws across court to Cadence. Now back to Kennedy. She's guarded there by Borowski. Had it poked away momentarily, but gets it back. Now down in the corner, McKenna McClure drives the baseline, puts it up against Addison Hines and has her shot blocked. James Monroe pushing the tempo, throws it forward to Borowski. Borowski layup all alone and scores it. When James Monroe gets a steal or a rebound off a missed Spartan shot, Eric, they push the tempo quickly. Greenbrier East going to have to get back.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that in the pregame. They're athletic. They want to get out and run on turnovers. So
Wooding inside, goes back out on the wing to McClure. Now down on the baseline to Wooding. Nice feed back to McClure. McClure goes to the rim, puts it up, and it's called for a travel. A lot of contact there. Thought we might get a foul, but instead they're going to say McClure took steps. Turn back over to the Mavericks. Mavericks leading at 19-17 with 5:44 to go here in the second quarter. Mary Beth Meadows across midcourt. Gets it to Hines. Hines tries to feed it inside to Dunlap. Has it knocked away. Here comes Caroline Dotson pushing the tempo. Greenbrier East has numbers. It's a 3-on-2 as Dotson gets in the lane. Throws it over to Wooding, but we're going to get a block call before Wooding can get the ball up and score. Foul's, I believe, going to go against Hines.
it was actually on Mary Beth Meadows.
Was it?
Yep.
Again, I can't see a thing, the official signals from over here across the court.
It's hard.
I'm just going to guess. Inbounds pass stolen away. Here comes Mary Beth Meadows with it, 2-on-2. She goes up against McKenna McClure. McClure, nice job getting her feet set, draws the charge. McKenna McClure stepped in front of Mary Beth Meadows and draws the charge. 5:20 to go. Mavericks lead at 19-17. It's going to be Spartan basketball.
It's a great job by McKenna getting back and setting up for the charge right there.
Coach Justice wants a timeout. 5:20 to go. Spartans trail James Monroe 19-17. Keep it right here. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93 WKCJ.
Tamarack Marketplace in Beckley is the official road game stop of Lady Spartan basketball, providing pregame meals for the players and coaches on every trip. Make Tamarack your pregame destination and enjoy sandwiches, wraps, soups, and salads, as well as a wonderful selection of entrees such as West Virginia rainbow trout, meatloaf with gravy, and chicken pot pie. Don't forget the delectable desserts, including Greenbrier peaches and cream, and an all-day brunch on Sundays. That's Tamarack Marketplace, the official road game stop of the Lady Spartan.
.5:20 to go here in the second quarter. Game going just as James Monroe had hoped right now as they're keeping pace with these Lady Spartans. Mavericks actually lead it 19-17 with 5:20 to go. It's going to be Greenbrier East basketball. It's been an entertaining game so far, Eric. There's a lot of back and forth as both teams have made little mini runs. It's been fun to watch.
You're exactly right. And we talked about the game plans for both teams before the game.
Kennedy Stewart has it stolen away by Ava Dunlap. Dunlap coast to coast, lays up, scored, and fouled by Kennedy Stewart. Greenbrier East has turned it over. A lot of them sort of, I wouldn't call them unforced, but not a particular
just slow passes.
Intensive pressure. It just, making mistakes. As Dunlap puts the free throw up, no good. Fight for the rebound. Ryan White has it, gets it to Caroline Dotson. 21-17, Spartans trail by 4. As Dotson crosses midcourt, Dotson inside to Fuller. Fuller one bounce, puts it off the glass and can't get it to go. Rebound, James Monroe. Fuller had herself wide open that time. Maybe didn't even need to take that bounce, could have just laid it up. And back on the other end, Hines fires from the wing, no good. Kennedy Stewart tries to fight for the rebound. She has it knocked out of her hands by Honeycutt. Honeycutt fires a three from the wing, no good. And Caden Stewart clears the rebound. Here comes Cadence against Honeycutt as she dribbles through some pressure. Cadence now back up top to Kennedy. Kennedy drives in the lane on the elbow, kicks out to Ryan White, and Ryan White fakes the pass and takes steps. Turnover numbers starting to mount right now for Greenbrier East with 4:28 to go in the second.
Yep, one more and we're in double digits. Just Greenbrier East just needs to slow down a little bit and play their game, play smart.
Borowski gets on the wing to Dunlap, feeds it inside, knocked away by Caroline Dotson. She was trying to get it to Chloe Shires, but Dotson was there, as she is a lot of times on defense. .4:18 to go. Mavericks lead it by 4. Greenbrier East, Eric, just 2 points here in this second quarter so far.
Yeah, it's been, we're riding the struggle bus right now. It's getting ready to come to a stop. I feel it.
Dunlap inbounds to Hines. Hines drives in the lane.
Going to get a timeout for James Monroe. Coach Hines was screaming at him. They let him throw it in before they saw him. 30-second.
30-second timeout. We'll take it with them. 4:13 to play. James Monroe leading Greenbrier East 21-17. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93 WKCJ. Back here on Oldies 93, James Monroe leading Greenbrier East 21-17 with 4:13 to go in the second quarter. Greenbrier East has scored just 2 points this quarter. We've almost played half of it. Need to get something going on offense. Borowski to the basket off the inbounds pass, and she's fouled. She'll go to the line for a pair.
Should be on Caroline Dotson. It's her second.
So Borowski going to try to add to this 4-point lead. She goes to the line, puts the first one up and hits. Maggie Borowski has 3. And she'll have a chance for one more. Borowski rolls it through again this time. And the Mavericks had their biggest lead of the game. It's 23-17 with 4:09 to play here in the second quarter. Spartans need to find an answer here on offense. They've gone cold. Ryan White between the circles, throws it on the right wing to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy dribbles up top through some pressure. Now back on the elbow, gets it to Dawson. She fakes the 3, takes the jumper from the right elbow, no good. Rebound, James Monroe. Here come the Mavericks and Haley Honeycutt. Honeycutt has it on the wing, now down the corner to Borowski. She fakes the 3, drives the baseline, gets it inside to Dunlap. They work it around now down in the left corner to Addison Hines. Her shot no good. Rebound, Caden Stewart. Here comes Stewart. Dribbles through 3 defenders now, has it on the wing now, gives it off to Kennedy. Kennedy drives in the lane, puts it off the glass, can't get it to go, too strong. And James Monroe has the rebound again. It's Hines with it, and she's going to bring it up the court herself. 3:18 on the clock now. Mavericks lead it by 6. Borowski now dribbles between the circles with the right hand as she's guarded by Caden Stewart. Dunlap now on the wing, gets it inside to Hines. Hines guarded by Fuller, drives the baseline, kicks it over on the left corner now, back up top to an open Honeycutt. Honeycutt's 3, no good.
That shot's too easy. That is way too easy. There's no defense being played there at all.
Dotson gets the rebound. Here comes Greenbrier East. Kennedy with it against Borowski, and Borowski got a little too close, riding her shoulder that time. They're going to whistle her for a foul. Caroline going to take a seat, and McKenna McClure checks back in. Scoreboard malfunctioning a little bit. Now we got it fixed. The score was off of there.
We liked that score better, didn't we?
No kidding. Inbounds pass to Caden Stewart. Caden's now back out to Ryan White on the wing. White gets it to McClure. McClure feeds it inside to Cadence, who's posted up. Now back in the corner to McClure, and she takes steps. Greenbrier East has been called for more walks tonight than they have all season long, I think. And a lot of it, Erica, I think it's crazy. After they made 12 three-pointers last night, they're hesitant to pull the trigger on that 3 right now. They've had some openings, but they're just a little hesitant to shoot it. As James Monroe works his way through the press, Borowski has it in the lane against Fuller. She's going to back it out. Now they work it down on the baseline to Hines. Hines shot no good, and McClure clears the rebound. 2:21 to go. Mavericks still lead it by 6, 23-17. Here's Caden Stewart, 3 from the wing, short. Rebound, James Monroe, and here's where they like to push the tempo. Honeycutt never stopped, went coast to coast all the way to the basket and scored it. Greenbrier is going to have to get back off the missed shots as James Monroe is pushing the tempo every time.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Our defense right now is absolutely atrocious.
Kennedy Stewart just inside the three-point arc, throws one up. Fuller has the rebound but has it taken away. Here comes Borowski now driving against McClure. McClure, nice job getting back on defense, and Borowski walked. McClure's the one that has gotten back a couple times today. She drew the charge earlier and forces the steps that time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just show the effort shows right there. Coach talked about effort in the pregame, and I'm telling you, halftime's not going to be good.
25-17 with 1:46. We got Ryan White 3-ball from the corner, no good. And McClure had the rebound, but it went off her shoulder. Now into the hands of James Monroe. James Monroe with a chance to go up double digits here. They lead at 25-17 with 1:30 to go. Honeycutt dribbles, gets it up top to Chloe Shires. Shires looks over the defense, has Ryan White in her face. Passes over to right wing to Dunlap. Ryan White all over her. She backs off and gives it to Kenny Stewart. Now feed inside, stolen away by Hannah Fuller. Fuller gets it to Cadence. Cadence crosses midcourt. Cadence on the elbow. Now Cadence down on the block, puts it off the glass, scores it. Nice move there by Cadence Stewart. She has 8, and that ends a long Spartan drought. It's 25-19 with 1:01 to play. Just the 4th point of the quarter for Greenbrier East.
Greenbrier East needs to capitalize right here. James Monroe's getting tired.
51 seconds to go.
Don't foul her.
Honeycutt picks up her dribble around midcourt. I don't like that call, Eric. I agree with what you're saying. You don't foul there, but she's swinging the elbows, and they're going to bail her out by calling the foul against McClure.
Yeah, both of them were wrong. To me,
yeah.
I think there's a foul both ways probably.
And that is the 7th team foul against Greenbrier East, so that's going to send James Monroe to the line for the 1-and-1. It'll be Haley Honeycutt. Honeycutt's first swishes through. 26-19. She'll have one more. Nothing but net on this one as well. It's 27-19. Here comes Kennedy Stewart with it. Freshman point guard between the circles, gets it to Ryan White. White feeds it inside of Fuller. Fuller has it slapped away. Fuller kind of right now, Eric, she's played well in this first half, but right now she's kind of waiting for the ball to come to her when they throw it inside instead of going to get it. And we're going to get a foul there on the loose ball is going to be called against Honeycutt.
It's her first.
And that's the 6th team foul, so Greenbrier East will shoot on the next one. But we've got just 32 seconds to go before the half. Spartans trail it 27-19.
Okay, James Monroe's playing extended 2-3, kind of matching up out of it.
Kennedy backs it out, looks over to the bench for the play. 17 seconds left. She dribbles behind her back and between her legs. 13 seconds now. She's between the circles. Now the clock down to 10. Trying to feed it inside to Fuller. Has it stolen away once again. Here comes Hines. Hines back on the other end. Right there's McClure to step in front again. What a game being played by McKenna McClure.
Absolutely, great job.
And it's a good thing because not a whole lot else going right for Greenbrier East right now.
I'll tell you, Hines was not happy with that, but it was absolute chart. She's ran through her. So
Greenbrier East going to inbounds. They won't get off a shot, and that's going to do it for the opening quarter. So we've reached halftime here on the Warner Music School of Lewisburg halftime show. James Monroe leading Greenbrier East 27-19. We'll be back to tell you all about it on Oldies 93 WKCJ.
Alcova Mortgage is here for good. We're locally owned, value great communication, and are committed to our Lewisburg community. Alcova Mortgage Lewisburg, 304-645-2478, or visit lewisburglender.com for your mortgage lending needs. Alcova Mortgage, NMLS ID 40508, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, Equal Housing Lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to credit approval. Alcova Mortgage Lewisburg.
Did you hear that? The State Farm thing. Dun-da-da-da-da. I think we in a commercial. Jake from State Farm, I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
Dad, look!
Chris!
Ooh, see? Surprising. Just like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
I didn't even record.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Monroe shirt, signs, and embroidery. For Southern West Virginia, we can handle all your needs. From signs to apparel to uniforms, we offer all the services that you're looking for. Choose Moco, yeah, Moco for embroidery and more. Call 304-772-4444.
The power of three: Greenbrier Chevrolet, Greenbrier Motor Company, and Greenbrier Ford. 3 dealerships who pay the most for your trade. I'm talking up to 33% over what other dealerships will offer, and way more than you'll get if you try to sell it yourself. In fact, we'll buy your car even if you don't buy one from us. So not only are the Greenbrier dealerships the best place to buy a car, they're also the best place to sell your car. So get to the Greenbrier dealerships in Lewisburg today and convert that car to cash.
Hi, I'm Janet Niehawk with S.J. Niehawk Lumber, your home solution for 75 years. Whether your project's small or large, we can help fill your needs. Good luck to the athletes and coaching staff of Greenbrier East Spartans for the year 2022-23. Go Spartans!
The Bank of Monroe knows what it means to be local and support local. We are your neighbors. We grow as you grow. We are your local lenders, making local decisions. We are part of your community. 3 locations in Lewisburg, Fairleigh, and Union with mobile and online banking. We are everywhere you need us to be. We care. Bank local with the Bank of Monroe. Visit us online, mybankofmonroe.com.
Tamarack Marketplace in Beckley is the official road game stop of Lady Spartan basketball, providing pregame meals for the players and coaches on every trip. Make Tamarack your pregame destination and enjoy sandwiches, wraps, soups, and salads, as well as a wonderful selection of entrees such as West Virginia rainbow trout, meatloaf with gravy, and chicken pot pie. Don't forget the delectable desserts, including Greenbrier peaches and cream, and an all-day brunch on Sundays. That's Tamarack Marketplace, the official road game stop of the Lady Spartan.
Halftime from the Parmar Stores Press Row here at James Monroe High School on the Warner Music School of Lewisburg halftime show. James Monroe leading Greenbrier East 27-19, and Eric Workman, it was 15-12 Greenbrier East after the opening quarter, and since that time James Monroe has outscored the Spartans 15-4 as Greenbrier East has struggled to find any offense, and James Monroe has found its best offense pushing the tempo off of turnovers and rebounds. So they're running the floor. Greenbrier East not doing a good job getting back, and James Monroe not really shooting it particularly well either from the field, but they're getting those easy points in transition, and they lead right now by 8 at the break.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the shooting numbers, James Monroe is shooting 41%, Greenbrier East is 37%. The main difference is they've made 3 3-pointers, and Greenbrier East is 0 for 7 at this point from three-point line. And then turnovers, we just talked about it. James Monroe's at 5, Greenbrier East is at 13. And we're turning the ball over and giving them easy layups, or at least chances at layups, because they're running the floor pretty quick. So thank goodness for McKenna McClure and beating them down the floor and setting up to take a charge 2 or 3 times. So good job by her. But our scoring in the half has been 2 players, Caden Stewart with 8 and Hannah Fuller with 9. And Hannah had 9 in the first quarter.
Right.
So
yep, just 4 points, as we said, overall for the Spartans in the second quarter. And we don't have this statistic here, but you mentioned those turnovers. I bet you if we had points off of turnovers, James Monroe would be racking up on that statistic as well, as they're taking advantage of it and really running the floor well when they get those Greenbrier East miscues.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, our turnovers turn into easy offense for them, whether it's a layup or at least a foul. They've been to the foul line 7 times, and Greenbrier East has been there 1 time. So
you mentioned the 3-point struggles for Greenbrier East, Eric, because they've yet to make one. A little bit of a surprise, as well as they shot the ball last night. They made 12 threes, and maybe the most surprising thing to me, I mentioned it during the broadcast, is they just look hesitant to pull the trigger. They were called on a couple of walks because they thought about the 3 too long and shuffled their feet while they did so and turned it over. They just need to be confident in themselves. You know, it's a good shooting team. They've got good shooters. They proved that last night. Let it fly, knock them down, and when you don't, get back on defense. Yeah,
sure. Obviously, I wasn't there for last night's game, and I mean, you sent me the stats after the game, and there was 4 or 5 in double digits. So we got to find some more scoring, and I believe quicker passes against the zone is going to give us chances to start shooting that 3 ball a little bit more.
Yeah, I think you still have an opportunity to get it inside to Hannah too. She's been open a few times. You scored 9 points there in the opening quarter. They missed her a couple times there in the second quarter, either by throwing kind of lazy passes inside there or just not seeing her open, and then a couple times she didn't hold on to it and let it go off her fingertips. But she's going to be a weapon for them, and then they've got to play a little inside out and get the ball back to the shooters as well when she touches it in there. But, you know, all's not lost for Greenbrier East. They've got a chance to get right back in this basketball game, but they need to fix a couple things to do so.
I'll tell you what, a big bucket to start the second half is going to change a lot of things. Just get the momentum going and hopefully get a basket and play some really good defense. And I got sort of animated about how sloppy our defense was the one trip down. I apologize about that, but that's just me being me up here for a minute.
No doubt about it. And I guarantee you they're hearing the same thing in the locker room right now, is that they have allowed some easy looks for James Monroe, but more importantly need to get something going on the offensive end, so we'll see what happens when we come back. We're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, it'll be time for the second half to see if Greenbrier can claw back in this one. Halftime in James Monroe. Mavericks lead at 27-19. You're listening to the Warner Music School of Lewisburg halftime show on Oldies 93 WKCJ. We appreciate you listening to the Warner Music School of Lewisburg halftime show here from the Parmar Stores Press Row. We're ready for the second half of action as Greenbrier got a spirited talk from assistant coach Holly Jo Gillespie there out of the break. I saw her on the court getting in the faces of some of those players trying to get them fired up, and they need a little energy right now. They were a little low on it there in the opening half. It's going to be James Monroe basketball. They lead it by 8. And they'll get the ball here to start the third quarter. Mary Beth Meadows with it as she sets up the offense. Greenbrier's going to stay in that 2-3 defense as James Monroe gets it on the wing to Honeycutt. Now back to Meadows. Meadows drives in, gets it down the corner to Borowski. Borowski's jumper no good, but the rebound into the hands of Haley Honeycutt. We're going to get a jump ball off of that rebound. Possession arrow points to Greenbrier East. As you said, Eric, it would be good to see if the Spartans could get some early points here.
Definitely.
Get some confidence back and get things swung in the right direction. Kennedy Stewart goes across midcourt, dribbles between the legs. She's guarded there by Mary Beth Meadows. She gets it down in the right corner to Dodson. Dodson dribbling through some pressure all over her. The ball's stolen away, but ends up somehow in the hands of Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy dribbles through some pressure, gets it back on the wing to Dodson. Dodson now to the elbow, drives in the lane, puts it up. Shot's blocked out of bounds by Addison Hines. It'll stay with Greenbrier East. Kennedy Stewart will trigger the inbound pass underneath the basket. Spartans now going left to right. On the elbow.
Good pass.
Oh, pass inside to Dodson to Hannah Fuller, who was all alone but couldn't connect. Going back on the other end, Kennedy Stewart nearly had a steal, loses out of bounds. It'll go back over to James Monroe. Hannah Fuller, Eric, could not have been more wide open there and just couldn't finish it like she was in the first half.
You're exactly right. She just rushed herself, and that's all right, though. She's going to fix it.
Out on the wing to Honeycutt. Back up top to Meadows. They swing it around now to the right side wing to Borowski. Now back between the circles. Feed inside, poked away this time by Fuller, and Dotson trying to run. Dotson on the elbow, Dotson to the glass, lays it up with the left hand and scores. Caroline Dotson gets Greenbrier East on the board first here in the second half. It's 27-21. Now Meadows with it on the other end. She dribbles out near the volleyball line near midcourt. Now takes it on the left wing. She's met there by Caroline Dotson, and Dotson pushes her with two hands. They're going to call that one every time. Cheap foul out there, not one you
It's tough.
want to pick up.
That's her third.
You got to know if you put two hands on them, they're going to call it every single time, and she's going to have to take a seat with the 3 fouls. Mary Beth Meadows now has it. She looks over at the bench for some instruction. She dribbles with the right hand, met there by McClure. She gets it on the right wing to Borowski. Borowski now up top to Meadows. Meadows just inside the foul line, puts up a jumper, rims out. Hannah Fuller has the rebound. Fuller, though, throws it away at the feet of Borowski. Borowski has it, puts it up and scores. Hannah Fuller had a big rebound, just needed to wait another second for things to clear. She rushed it, threw it at the feet of Borowski. She came up with it and scored it. 29-21. Now here's another turnover, stolen away by Borowski. Borowski with McClure with her, lays it off the glass and scores it again. And James Monroe's lead now, biggest of the game, 31-21. 5:48 to go. Kennedy Stewart with it in the lane, nearly loses it, gets it over to Cadence. Cadence going to drive baseline, goes all the way around the horn. Now has it on the right wing. Cadence now dribbles in, inside the elbow, inside the foul line, left-handed layup, scores it. Nice move there by Cadence Stewart. Gets on the board, and the lead is back to single digits. It's 31-23. Mary Beth Meadows deliberately brings it up the floor. She's being patient. Inside, now back out for a 3-ball from the wing. Addison Hines, from the corner. She hits it. Addison Hines for 3. That's her first 3-point ball of the game, and the lead is now the largest it's been all game, 11. On the other end, Kennedy Stewart misses a layup, and back come the Mavericks. Greenbrier East rushed it on offense. Spartans need to stay patient here. They see themselves trailing about 11, starting to panic a little bit, need to get back to what they're doing. They know how to get back in, and Greenbrier East going to go man-to-man now. Inside, Dunlap, baseline jumper, hits it. Down on the block, it's 36-23. The lead is 13 with 4:37. Largest of the game for James Monroe. Kennedy trying to end that as she pulls up for a 3, top of the key, rims out. Fuller, though, with the rebound, gets it back to White. Now Kennedy, left wing 3, hits it. Greenbrier East needed that one. That's Kennedy Stewart's first points of the game. Makes it 36-26. 4:16 to go. Now back on the other end, Mary Beth Meadows goes to the rim against McClure. She gets the bucket and the foul. Every time it seems like Greenbrier East may cut into this lead, James Monroe has an answer. That time coming from Mary Beth Meadows as she scores it and picks up the foul against McClure.
Tell you what, Greenbrier East starting to get a little bit of foul trouble. McClure and Caroline Dotson both have 3 now.
Ryan White going to come out of the game. Dotson going to check back in. Meadows will have the free throw. Puts it up strong off the back iron, but James Monroe gets the rebound. Turnaround jumper put up by Hines, no good. And finally, Greenbrier East clears it. McClure going to bring it up herself. 38-26, 4:09 to go. Dotson on the wing. She drives in, has her shot blocked there by Addison Hines. Hines is double teamed into a trap, but steps right through it. Hines across midcourt. Feeds down the corner. Dunlap 3-ball short. And
she got her own rebound.
Yeah, no effort there on the rebound for Greenbrier East as James Monroe gets it back on the wing. Meadows for a 3, no good. And another Maverick rebound. Greenbrier East getting nothing on the glass. That's all effort right now. James Monroe seems to want it more. See if Greenbrier East can find a way to change that as Mary Beth Meadows has it between the circles. She drives in, gets a screen, has an opening, puts it up, no good. And Kennedy Stewart finally gets the rebound for Greenbrier East. Here comes Kennedy back the other way. Kennedy at the foul line, feeds it inside to McClure. McClure puts it up, scores it, and draws the foul. Nice job there by McKenna McClure. Greenbrier East needed a basket, and she gave him one.
It's going to be Hines' 3rd. That's a big foul on them. Hannah Fuller's going to get a break. Elizabeth Wooding's coming in for her, Cam.
It's 38-28 now, and McClure with a chance to get it back to single digits at the foul line. Her shot is up, strong off the back iron. Wooding trying to battle for the rebound, can't get it. And James Monroe comes out of there with it. Here come the Mavericks. Meadows on the wing. She drives in against Kennedy Stewart. Nice pass there to Honeycutt. Honeycutt wide open, can't get it to fall. Greenbrier East catches a break there. Back come the Spartans. Spartans trail by 10. Kennedy Stewart stops, pops, top of the key, hits it. Big three from Kennedy Stewart as she rattles that one home. It's 38-31. Here come the Spartans with 2:55 to go. Lead is down to 7. It was once 13. Mary Beth Meadows now between the circles, guarded there by McClure. She hands off to Honeycutt. Honeycutt going to drive in against Caden Stewart. Caden ties her up, and possession arrow is going to stay with the Mavericks. Now we're seeing a little frustration on the faces of Mavericks that we have seen on the faces of Spartans most of the game.
Yeah, you can tell they're getting a little bit tired, so Greenbrier East needs to capitalize right here.
Dunlap will inbound, gets it up top to Hines on the wing. Hines dribbles in just inside the foul line, tries to feed it in to Borowski. It's docked away. Last touch by Borowski. It'll turn over to Greenbrier East. Now the officials are going to talk about it, and they're going to reverse that call and give it back to James Monroe. I didn't have a great vantage point here, but I think that was the right call. As Hines looks to inbound, she gets it to Mary Beth Meadows on the wing now, back inside to Hines. Hines guarded by Wooding, gets it out to Dunlap. Her three from the wing hits it. Dunlap nails the three to put the home team back up double digits, and they're going to call a timeout. We'll take it with them. 2:29 to go. James Monroe leading Greenbrier East 41-31. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93. .229 to go in the third quarter. Greenbrier East trails James Monroe 41-31. And Eric, it was 27-19 at the half. James Monroe built its lead all the way up to 13. And just when it seemed like Greenbrier East was going on a run, they got it down to 7. Dunlap hits that big three from the wing there. And it's back to a double-digit game as Greenbrier East fighting and clawing, trying to get back in it. But it's tough right now for the Lady Spartans.
It is. I mean, they're fighting. I mean, you can tell in their face they're starting to get a little upset. They're going to fight. They're going to climb right back into this and be just fine. But we got to play a little bit better defense. The shots they're making are wide open shots. So.
And got to get on the glass. They're getting 2 or 3 or 4 opportunities down every time down the floor right now.
Which it may help. Hines came out of the game, so they go to a little bit smaller lineup.
Kennedy Stewart with it now. Gets it over the right wing to McClure. McClure feeds it inside to Dodson. Dodson in trouble, but gets it back to Kennedy. Kennedy fires a three, hits another one. That's 3 threes from Kennedy Stewart here in this quarter. She's trying to keep Greenbrier East in the game. It's 41-34 with 2:08 to go. Mary Beth Meadows now guarded closely by McKenna McClure. Greenbrier East going man-to-man. Meadows loses it over there by the James Monroe bench, but Borowski saves it, gets it back into Meadows. Her shot no good. Caden Stewart has the rebound. Here comes Stewart pushing the tempo. Stewart across midcourt. Gets it to Dodson on the wing. Now down in the corner to McClure now. Back up top to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy going to drive in. Kicks it back to Cadence. Cadence wide open for three. Hits it. Cadence Stewart buries the three. And now here come the Spartans, Eric. It's 41-37. The Spartans back within 4 with 1:33 to go.
All right, we get a stop here. This game has changed.
Borowski on the wing. Gets through a screen. Puts up the jumper. No good. Cadence Stewart has the rebound. Here comes Cadence. Spartans trail by 4. Gets it to Kennedy. Kennedy leading the offense as she gets across midcourt. Gets it on the wing to Dodson. Dodson fakes the three, drives in. Now back out. Oh, she had an open Caden Stewart, but had the ball tipped away. It's stolen by Mary Beth Meadows. Now Meadows down on the other end to Honeycutt. Honeycutt going to fire the three, and that's going to end the Spartan run as Honeycutt nails it. Spartans had it all the way back to 4, but Honeycutt hits that one to make it 7. Now Kennedy trying to get it back to 4 again as she fires a three, no good. Wooding with the rebound. She's trapped down in the corner. And we're going to get a tie-up. Possession arrow gives it back to James Monroe.
I tell you, we talk about turnovers, and that big three right there by James Monroe was by a turnover on us, right? They got out and ran.
It was. Greenbrier East had the momentum going its way, but that was a momentum killer as James Monroe knocked down the three. They'll have the ball now, up 7 with 47 seconds to go. Mary Beth Meadows met at midcourt by McKenna McClure. Goes off a screen from Hines. Hines spins off the screen, cuts down the lane, gets the ball, and is fouled.
Who was that foul on?
I missed it. I thought he was getting ready to signal it now, but
I saw a 3. Thought.
Hines first is good. Every time, Eric, it looks like Greenbrier East is going to make a run. James Monroe does something to end it, and this foul shot here, no good, but the lead is 8. Battle for the rebound, knocked out of bounds, last touch by Emily Bailey. And it'll be Spartan basketball down 8 with 36 seconds. Ryan White going to check back into the game. Liz Wooding will sit down. Spartans have trailed by as many as 13 this quarter and had it as close as 4. Right now they trail by 7 with 32 seconds to go. Kennedy Stewart on the wing now up top, gets it to Cadence. Cadence left wing, looks over the defense, hands it back to McKenna McClure between the circles. Now to Kennedy. Kennedy drives against Dunlap, now switches off to Borowski. 18 seconds on the clock as she hands to Cadence. Cadence looks up the clock and sees 16. She's going to drive the lane, put up a floater. No good, a lot of contact, no call. And back come the Mavericks pushing the tempo. Borowski, finally Kennedy Stewart steps in front of her, but not soon enough. And she'll draw the blocking foul. Greenbrier East has got to get better at getting back on offense. Somebody's got to stop the basketball.
Yeah, it's eating them up right now.
Spartans had it all the way down to 4. But Borowski can go to the line here. If she can convert, she can make it a double-digit game once again. Her first is up and good. 5.7 seconds on the clock. James Monroe leads at 46-37. She'll have one more. And this one's true. 10-point advantage once again. It's 47-37. Spartans barely get it to midcourt here. Caden's going to fire a long 3 and short, and that's going to do it. We've played 3 quarters. At the end of 3, it's James Monroe 47, Greenbrier East 37. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93 WKCJ. Eight minutes to go, and James Monroe fans are starting to sense this big upset they were hoping to pull off tonight over Class 4A Greenbrier East, but the Spartans are going to try to see if they can make a run here. They made a run in the last quarter as Caden Stewart hits one from a 3 from the wing. That's a good start. 3 ball from Caden Stewart makes it 47-40. Back on the other end, Mary Beth Meadows has it stolen away by Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy at midcourt, backs it down, slows it down now, gets it to Cadence. Cadence 3 ball for the wing is blocked there by Addison Hines. Greenbrier East traps in the corner, stolen away by White. White up top to Caroline Dotson, 3 air ball into the hands of Honeycutt. Dotson just rushed that one a little bit, and James Monroe maybe missed an opportunity to force at that time as they had open Mavericks on the other end of the floor. Meadows now left wing, gets off a screen, puts it up the shot, no good, and
oh, he got Cadence for a hold.
Yeah, absolutely nobody. The ball was just bouncing around, and nobody for Greenbrier East went to get it. And Caden saw Addison Hines run past her and had to grab her. That's just effort right there, Eric, because nobody went to get the basketball. 7:08 to go. Mavericks lead it by 7. Inbounds pass to Hines. Hines to Meadows. Meadows goes to the rim, and she's going to be fouled there. I believe we're going to get we get Ryan White with the foul.
Is that her first?
That's what I have.
That's rare.
It is. Greenbrier East finding some answers offensively here, Eric, but they've got to get it done on the defensive end if they're going to get back in this basketball game, as Meadows' foul shot rims out.
Those always help, but
she'll have one more with 7:04. Her team leads it by 7. Meadows puts this one up and rolls it through over the front of the rim. Makes it 48-40. 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Mavericks by 8. Kennedy Stewart gets it down in the left corner to Ryan White. Now White dribbles back up top, has an open Caden Stewart for 3, swish! Caden Stewart nails the 3 ball, and Greenbrier East not going away. They've got it down to 5. Now it's 48-43 with 6:42 to go. Honeycutt now guarded by Kennedy Stewart. She gets it to Chloe Shires. Shires has Dotson all over her. She tries to feed it to Honeycutt, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Greenbrier East will stay with the Mavericks. 6:31 now showing on the clock. It's a 5-point game. Greenbrier East has been as close as 4 here in the second half. Trying to pull closer. Addison Hines dribbles into trouble, now backs it out to Meadows. Meadows now feeds it inside to a wide open Maggie Borowski, and she ends the Spartan run with a layup off the glass. 50-43. Kennedy Stewart now back the other way. She spins at the foul line, now backs it back between the circles, gives it to Cadence on the left wing. Back to Kennedy. Kennedy going to drive in from the wing, now gets it down the corner to Ryan White. Back up to the left wing to Dotson. She calls out the offense, now gets it to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy between the legs as she dribbles up top. Kennedy gets a screen from Fuller. She's going to pull up just in front of the foul line. Shot no good, but Ryan White able to track down the rebound. White trapped down in the corner, and she's going to be fouled. Go against Borowski. And that's just the second team foul here in the second half against James Monroe. Caden Stewart will inbound underneath the basket. Spartans need to get points here as she gets it into Ryan White. Now back to Stewart off the screen. She's open for a 3. Lets it go from the corner. Too strong, misses it all, but Caroline Dotson gets the rebound, throws it off of the legs of Addison Hines. It'll stay with Greenbrier East. 50-43, 5:38 showing on the clock. Inbounds pass to Dotson. Dotson just inside the foul line, has it stolen away by Honeycutt. Honeycutt back the other way, pushing the tempo. Ryan White steps in front of her. Honeycutt's layup no good. Caden Stewart has the rebound. Cadence wants to run now. Cadence on the wing, has it poked away from behind by Honeycutt, stolen away. And another Spartan turnover. And after that turnover, Cadence fouls, and that's her 4th. Greenbrier East is not taking care of the basketball tonight, Eric.
No, I'll tell you, both teams right now are looking pretty tired. Now, here's the issue. We're 5:22 left in the 4th, and James Monroe shooting in the bonus.
Yeah, 7th team fouls. They're going to march to the other end. Just 2 fouls against the Mavericks so far, so you might see James Monroe at the line a whole lot more than Greenbrier East here in this final quarter. Honeycutt steps there now. She'll have 1-and-1. Got to box out if you're Greenbrier East. No reason to do that this time, though, as Honeycutt rolls it home. 51-43. She'll have one more. This one's strong off the back iron. Ryan White tracks it down. White now looking for some help. Gets it to Kennedy. Kennedy dribbles through some trouble and gets it across the timeline. 51-43. Kennedy gives it to Cadence. Cadence long 3 from the right wing. Tipped. She wants the foul. She's slapping herself on the arm. Official's not going to give it to her. Cadence is frustrated now as she raises her hands in the air. Cadence all over the official as Addison Hines dribbles the ball across midcourt against Hannah Fuller. Hines now dribbles in, goes back out to Mary Beth Meadows. Meadows in the lane, backs it out, gives it to Honeycutt. Honeycutt on the wing, now across court to Borowski. Borowski backing it out. Maverick's going to use some clock here. Mary Beth Meadows guarded there by Caroline Dotson. She dribbles top of the key, gets it into the lane, swings out to the wing to a wide open Hines. Hines three ball, no good. And Ryan White pulls down the rebound, and on the rebound, we're going to get a foul call. A push is going to go against Honeycutt. .4:33 to go now. Spartans trail it by 8. You're going to make a run. You've got to do it now. This time is running out. Kennedy Stewart across midcourt. She stops, pops top of the key. Three ball, hits it. Kennedy Stewart's fourth three of the second half pulls Greenbrier East a little closer. It's 51-46 now with 4:17 to go. Borowski gets it across midcourt through some Spartan pressure, gets it over on the left wing to Hines. Hines now resets the offense as she gets it up top to Mary Beth Meadows. Meadows guarded there by Caroline Dotson. She dribbles into some trouble, gets out of it. Now fed inside to Meadows. She's going to drive against Kennedy Stewart. She'll bowl her over, but Kennedy didn't have her feet set, and she'll be called for the foul. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Mary Beth Meadows. Spartans continue to hang around here, Eric, as the Mavericks a couple times have stretched that lead back out to 8 or 10 points, and Spartans come fighting back. It's 5 right now with 4 minutes on the clock. These are going to be big free throws coming up for Meadows.
I'll tell you what, absolutely, I really like where Greenbrier East is at right now. I know we're down by 5, but the thing is there's a lot of clock left, and James and Rose are already trying to run the clock out. So they're getting tired. They know it. Greenbrier East is ready to roll.
Meadows at the line. Her first is good. That's a big free throw. Free throws are going to be an important part of this, Eric, is already 8 Greenbrier East team fouls. We're going to see the Mavericks at the line. If they knock them down, it's going to be hard to get back if you're Greenbrier East. Meadows will have one more. She puts it up. This one's short. Ryan White gets the rebound. Spartans trail by 6. White nearly dribbles into a trap, but gets it back to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy is fouled there in the backcourt, and Hines picks up her 4th.
That's a big, big foul.
All the way to the opposite end of the floor.
85 feet from the basket, too.
Yep.
Her dad, which is the coach for James Monroe, is not a happy dude right now.
Just the 4th team foul, though. So Greenbrier East will inbound. James Monroe backs off its pressure, and Hines going to have to sit here with those 4 fouls. 3:52 to go. I doubt she'll sit long. Inbounds pass to Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy's had a big second half with 12 points all on the 3-ball, and Coach Justice wants a timeout. 3:45 to go. James Monroe clinging to a 52-46 lead over Greenbrier East. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93 WKCJ. .345 to go here in Linside. James Monroe has visions of the upset it dreamed of, leading Greenbrier East 52-46, but the Lady Spartans not going away and going to try to make this interesting here in the closing minutes. It's a 6-point game as Greenbrier East inbounds. Kennedy Stewart dribbles to the left wing. She's met there by Dunlap, gets it back out to Cadence. Cadence on the left wing goes cross court to McClure. McClure feeds it to a cutting Cadence Stewart. Cadence lays it off the glass and scores, and this is as close as Greenbrier East has been here in the second half. Wait a second. Eric, as shot missed on the other end. We need to check the score. It was 51-46 going into that break, and now it says 52-48. On the wing, Caroline Dotson, 3 ball, in and out, no good. Rebound, James Monroe, and she's going to be tied up right there. We need to check the score because it was 51-46 when Greenbrier East took the timeout. Greenbrier East comes in and scores. Caden Stewart should have made it 51-48, but the scoreboard says 52-48. And we're going to get a timeout, Coach Justice. We'll take it with him and see if we can sort that out. 3:01 to go. Spartans trying to claw back. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93 WKCJ. Out of the break, Eric Workman totaled up his points here, and he has 52, so it must have been, the scoreboard definitely said 51 during the last timeout, but they must have caught something there in the scorebook during that timeout and corrected it. So the score we have on the board right now is 52-48. James Monroe leading it with 3:01. Mavericks trying to inbound underneath the basket. As Eric kind of said during the timeout, it feels like the Mavericks just hanging on here, but let's see if the Spartans can complete the comeback. On the wing, big three there as Haley Honeycutt let the Spartans fly by, and she stopped and popped it from the left wing, scores it.
As a coach, I'm going nuts right now. Why would you shoot that shot? But obviously she's saying she's got it.
55-48, and back on the other end, Ryan White had it halfway down, popped out, fight for the rebound. They're going to say last touch by Kennedy Stewart, and it's going to be James Monroe basketball now, up 7 points with 2:40 to go. They have a chance to bleed some clock here. Spartans going to try to set up some pressure. Inbounds pass stolen away by White. White dribbles in on the wing, gets it to a cutting Caroline Dotson, and Dotson is fouled as she goes to the bucket. Big here if you're Greenbrier East to get points with the clock stopped. 2:35 showing on that clock. Greenbrier East down 7. They've been unable to get it any closer than 4 here in the second half.
This is the 4th foul shot Greenbrier East has shot all night.
And Dotson misses it short.
4. In 3 3/4 of a quarter.
Can't let these opportunities slip away. The clock stopped, and Dotson does hit this one. Makes it 55-49, 6-point game. Greenbrier East will show pressure again. Ball stolen away. We're going to get a jump ball call first, though, and the possession arrow will point to Greenbrier East.
Greenbrier East ball. They fixed it.
6-point game with 2:32. Kenny Stewart inbounds. Looking, throws it up the top to McClure. Now gets it on the wing. Now up top to Dotson. Now swings it down to an open Kennedy Stewart. She's going to fire the 3 from the wing, and she buries it. Kennedy Stewart, her 5th 3 of the game, makes it 55-52. This is as close as the Spartans have been with 2:21. And on the inbounds pass, we get a foul, though, called against Greenbrier East.
It's going to be on Kennedy Stewart as well, isn't it?
I believe so. And that's the 9th team foul, so it'll still be 1-1, but this is the last 1-1 we'll have. Big shots here as Maggie Borowski steps to the line. She's been good tonight. I've got her 4 for 4 at the foul line.
I as well.
Her first put up and good. Make it 5 for 5. 4-point game now with 2:21. Borowski has one more. Coach Justice telling his team lots of time left, and Borowski misses this one.
She got a rebound.
Tracks down her own rebound. James Monroe now holding on to it. Mary Beth Meadows with 2:13 trying to bleed some clock. Her team leads by 4. She's dribbling around, dribbles into a trap.
That's going to be Caden Stewart's 5th foul, or 4th. No, oh my goodness. I was on McKenna, thank goodness. Woo!
Yeah, that would have been 5. They get it McKenna McClure instead. And now we're shooting 2. as that's the 10th foul. 2:05 to go. It's 56-52, James Monroe. Mary Beth Meadows puts this one up and hits. You got to rebound if you're Greenbrier. She had a golden opportunity with the miss the front end of that one-on-one, and James Monroe able to get it back. Meadows puts this one up, leaves it short, and Ryan White does
great rebound
pull down
by Ryan.
that rebound. 5-point game as the Spartans come back on the other end. Dodson with it. She's nearly had a poke from behind. Stewart's thought about the three. They're going to call her for a walk, and that didn't happen. She did not walk. The James Monroe bench said it, but all she did is stop and fake a three. She didn't even move her feet.
The coach called that one for her.
Officials gave in to the big moment of the game as Dunlap gets past three Spartan defenders, lays it up and scores it.
My goodness gracious.
And we're going to get a timeout here, 59-52 with 1:47. Coach Justice out on the floor wanting an explanation, and I don't blame him. That was a terrible travel call against Caden Stewart. Coach Justice calling the official over because I think the one official he asked said it wasn't my call, so he wants the guy that made the call, and it was a terrible call. I mean, I know we're the Greenbrier broadcast, but Caden Stewart just had it on the wing, faked the three, didn't even take a step. And the James Monroe bench yells walk, and as soon as they yell it, the whistle blows.
My goodness.
And that was a big one as James Monroe came back from it and scored on the other end to go up 7. Should have been a 5-point game, but this Cadence with a chance to knock down that three and possibly make it 2. Instead, it's 7, so a big turn of events. Still time if you're Greenbrier East, but got to take advantage of it here. Got to get every rebound, got to make shots, got to get back on defense.
Tell you what, we got to be careful. We're in foul trouble too. Cadence has 4. McKenna has 4.
Ryan White looks to inbound, gets it into Caden Stewart. Caden's going to break through some pressure, gets it across midcourt. She gets it to Dodson on the wing. Now fed inside to Ryan White. Ryan White has her shot blocked, tries to save it, but she steps out of bounds. Will turn back over to James Monroe. 1:38 to go now. 59-52. Spartans need a steal. James Monroe gets it to Dunlap at midcourt. She's pressured there by White, has the ball poked away. Coach Mike Hines wanting a foul call. I think he's already gotten his call that he as Mary Beth Meadows will inbound in front of the bench. Caroline Dotson in her face. She throws it into the backcourt. Dotson going to try to run it down as Addison Hines has it across midcourt. 1:30 to go now. James Monroe just going to eat time.
Come on, girls, let's go. Come on.
Holds it. She gets Dotson up on her. Dotson just touched her with 2 hands. Lucky she didn't get a foul call there.
Oh, it's 5 on Cadence.
Yep, Meadows dribbles around. Cadence bumps her, and that's going to be 5. Not a smart play there as Caden Stewart going to have to sit down, and now your best offense is sitting on the bench. Down 7 with 1:19. James Monroe fans starting to sense it here as they're making a little noise.
Good news is for Greenbrier East, McKenna can get hot at any moment. Kennedy can get hot, and you got Hannah back in. And, of course, Caroline's shot lights out here lately. And we know Ryan can shoot it, so we're still not in a terrible situation.
If you're Greenbrier East, you need a miss here at the line as Mary Beth Meadows steps up. And if she does miss, you've got to get the rebound.
This is her 8th and 9th free throw tonight.
First one is up and through.
And Greenbrier East has shot 4 the whole night.
Wow. 60-52, the lead is 8 with 1:19. Meadows one more, strong off the back iron, and Dunlap tracks down the rebound. Oh, wow. Dunlap was trapped and had the ball knocked out of her hand, and they're going to grant James Monroe the timeout. Big break there for the Mavericks. We'll take the timeout with them. 1:17 to go. James Monroe clinging to a 60-52 lead. You're listening to Ladies Spartan Basketball on Oldies 93 WKCJ. James Monroe will inbound with 1:17 to go. They lead it by 8 over Greenbrier East. Hines has it. Hines has it stolen away. Here comes Caroline Dotson on the other end of the floor. Dotson gets into the lane, puts it up, no good, but she's fouled. Foul's going to go against Borowski that time.
That's her third.
You would have liked to have an and one there as Caroline Dotson had a step or two on the James Monroe defense, but nice job by Borowski to get back in there and affect the play and not let her have the easy bucket. 8-point game. You've got to have both of these if you're Caroline Dotson. Dotson puts the first one up and it rims out.
When we're going to get them, we got to make them successful, right?
Absolutely.
We haven't shot very many of them.
That one is halfway down but spun out. Dotson will have one more. Puts this one up. This one's short. Rebound into the hands of Dotson. She gets out of there with it. Dotson has it knocked loose, but she still got it. Gets it to Ryan White. White's going to drive in, gives it to Hannah Fuller, and she's called for a travel. James Monroe basketball, 1:01 to go. They lead it by 8, trying to finish off the final minutes of what would be a monumental victory for this Maverick program. They get it into the front court to Addison Hines. Hines trapped there by White. Hines dribbles through it. Now throws it to Mary Beth Meadows. Meadows met out there by Kennedy Stewart. Clock down to 49. Ball's loose on the floor. And Borowski comes up with it, and McKenna McClure comes with a double-handed push in the back.
That'll be her fifth.
For the foul. Haircut. Coach Justice said before the game they had to come with the energy because this was James Monroe's Super Bowl, and all the 50-50 balls have gone James Monroe's way.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have just wanted it more here tonight. When you play a team that's desperate for a win like this and wants to pull off an upset, you got to match the intensity, and Greenbrier East hasn't done that for the most part tonight.
You know, the bad news is Borowski's perfect from the free throw line tonight.
You're trying for the announcer's jinx, and it works, so she misses the first. She'll have one more. The bad news for Greenbrier East is they haven't pulled down the rebounds when they do miss.
No, you're right.
See if they can fix that here. 8-point game. Borowski puts this one up and good. The lead is 9, 44 seconds. Greenbrier East going to have to hurry as Kenny Stewart dribbles through some pressure. Gets it into the front court. Dotson going to attack. Dotson double dribbles. Greenbrier East just going a little too fast for its own good right now, hurting itself. 37 seconds, Mavericks by 9. Time is running short on Greenbrier East. Inbounds pass to Dunlap. She gives it to Borowski. Borowski into the front court to Honeycutt. Honeycutt fouled there by Caroline Dotson with 31.9 showing on the clock.
Caroline's fourth.
Kennedy Stewart with a big second half has tried to keep Greenbrier East in this game. She has 5 threes, 15 points. But the defensive end is what's really let the Spartans down tonight as Honeycutt hits the first free throw. Makes it a 10-point game. She'll have one more. This one no good. Rebound.
And they got it again.
In the hand of the Mavericks. That's been kind of the story of the game. As Mary Beth Meadows knocked to the ground. No call there. They're able to bleed a little more clock. It's down to 23. Spartans probably no need to foul at this point. Kennedy does, though, with 19 seconds to go. She'll put Mary Beth Meadows on the line, but there's just not enough time left for Greenbrier East at this point. Meadows goes to the line for 2. First air ball. Maybe sensing the gravity of the moment here for the James Monroe team, that be a signature victory for them for sure. Meadows with one more. This one rims out. Rebound Hannah Fuller, and she's fouled. Foul's going to go against Honeycutt. Fuller will step to the other end. She's a fantastic free throw shooter. She's been taken away, though, Eric, after that big explosion in the first quarter, 9 points. She's been scoreless since. See if she can get these to get her into double figures. First one, no good for Fuller. She's usually automatic at that line. It's been that kind of night for Greenbrier East, and Greenbrier East going to back off. They won't foul now, and James Monroe is going to dribble out the clock. 8, 7, 6, 5. The crowd is on its feet, showing its appreciation, and it's over here in Linside. Greenbrier East falls to the James Monroe Mavericks, 62-52. And we'll be back to wrap it all up and tell you all about it on our Cornerstone IGA post-game show on Oldies 93 WKCJ.
Alcova Mortgage is here for good. We're locally owned, value great communication, and are committed to our Lewisburg community. Alcova Mortgage Lewisburg, 304-645-2478, or visit lewisburglender.com for your mortgage lending needs. Alcova Mortgage, NMLS ID 40508, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, Equal Housing Lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to credit approval. Alcova Mortgage, Lewisburg.
Did you hear that? The State Farm thing. Dun-da-da-da-da. I think we're in a commercial. Jake from State Farm, I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
Dad, look!
Ooh, see? Surprising. Just like State Farm's surprisingly great rates.
I didn't even record.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Logo, shirt, signs, and embroidery. For Southern West Virginia, we can handle all your needs. From signs to apparel to uniforms, we offer all the services that you're looking for. Choose Moco, yeah, Moco for embroidery and more. Call 304-772-4444.
Back here on the Cornerstone IGA postgame show, James Monroe upsets Greenbrier East 62-52 tonight here in Linside. A signature win for the Mavericks as they improve to 14-5. Greenbrier East drops to 10-7 with the loss. And Eric, the Spartans opened up the season against this same team, beat them 63-43. But what a difference a couple of months make as James Monroe secures the 10-point victory tonight. Greenbrier East just found itself in a hole and was trying to fight back all night long and couldn't ever quite dig out of it. They got as close as what I thought was 3 here in the fourth quarter as they hit the 3 ball to make it 51-48 when they called the timeout. But then out of the timeout, we got an extra point up on the board, made it 52-48. And then Caden Stewart was called from that walk. James Monroe scores on the other end, and Spartans never could get back in it. It was 56-52 with 2:05, but the Mavericks make their foul shots down the stretch. They score the final 6 points of the game and win it 62-52 over Greenbrier East tonight. And you were looking at a big statistic there, Eric. Kind of tells the story of the game at the free throw line.
It does, Cam. I tell you, I was sitting here doing the stat. They shot 28 foul shots. Greenbrier East shot 7. Okay. Wow. They shot 54% from the line, and Greenbrier East was 28%. We were 2 for 7. That's to tell the tale, but obviously what hurt us was the defense tonight, putting them on the line that much, right? So, but a lot of it was just turnovers turned into runouts, and then us getting back and fouling them in transition. So there's a lot of coaching that coach is going to do, and there's going to be a lot of learning and listening the young ladies are going to do, and Greenbrier East is going to come out better. We know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you. And I think the coaching you're talking about, you got to get something done on the defensive end because, as you said, Greenbrier's just got beat in transition so many times, not getting back, not stopping the ball. And James Monroe got the easy ones. And the 50-50 balls, we talked to it so many times. How many offensive rebounds did James Monroe get tonight? A lot of them off of free throws. They just kept getting the ball back as they just call it like it is. It seemed like they wanted it more at times tonight. And you've got to match their intensity. Greenbrier didn't do that tonight, and as a result, they come out of here with the loss. A 62-52 James Monroe victory.
I'm sorry, you talked about that offensive rebound. I have 18 on the night.
18 offensive
yes,
rebounds.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's a huge number, and that's something that a lot of times, as you said, just comes down to hustle. And you've got to want it. You got to go get it. And Greenbrier didn't do that tonight. James Monroe did. Give the Mavericks credit as they pull off a big win, a signature win for their program as they knock off the Spartans here tonight by 10 points, avenging a 20-point loss earlier in the season. We'll take another break here on the Cornerstone IGA postgame show. When we come back, it'll be time for our Magic's Computer Repair Player of the Game. We'll tell you about our next broadcast and wrap up the totals here from the inside. Final score, James Monroe 62, Greenbrier 52. You're listening to Lady Spartan Basketball and the Cornerstone IGA postgame show on Oldies 93 WKCJ.
The power of three: Greenbrier Chevrolet, Greenbrier Motor Company, and Greenbrier Ford. 3 dealerships who pay the most for your trade. I'm talking up to 33% over what other dealerships will offer, and way more than you'll get if you try to sell it yourself. In fact, we'll buy your car even if you don't buy one from us. So not only are the Greenbrier dealerships the best place to buy a car, they're also the best place to sell your car. So get to the Greenbrier dealerships in Lewisburg today and convert that car to cash.
Hi, I'm Janet Niehawk with S.J. Niehawk Lumber, your home solution for 75 years. Whether your project's small or large, we can help fill your needs. Good luck to the athletes and coaching staff of Greenbrier East Spartans for the year 2022-23. Go Spartans!
Wrapping things up here on the Cornerstone IGA postgame show from James Monroe High School in Linside. Mavericks score a big 62-52 win over Greenbrier East. Cam Huffman, Eric Workman with you. And Eric, Spartans trailed 27-19 at the half. They began to call back. Looked like they were going to make a run. They got all the way to 26-23. But then here came the Mavericks again as they extended their lead, and they kept the pressure on all night. Every time Greenbrier was make a run, they got within 4 in the third quarter. They got within 4 in the fourth quarter. And as you said a couple times, it felt like they were just hanging on for dear life. But in the end, they were able to do so as they turned away Greenbrier East time after time and secured a big 10-point victory. And it's a huge one for the Mavericks and their program.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime a single A upsets quad A, it's tough. But like I said, there's going to be a lot of learning from it and a lot of coaching tools, especially when coach watches the film. And there's going to be some unhappiness, but we'll come out better from this. And I truly believe a lot of it was just effort. You know?
Yeah, and I think if you're Greenbrier East, Eric, you get frustrated with a loss like this. Things are going well. You're not playing well defensively. You know, a lot of things going on, but you have to remember who you are. You have to remember this is a Greenbrier East team that has beaten St. Albans. The Greenbrier East team has beaten South Charleston. They've beaten Hurricane. They've got big wins under their belt. They're a good basketball team, and you can't let these kind of things get you down too much. You got to get right back on track because there's no time to waste here as the postseason sort of just around the corner.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you got to get back on the horse and get riding, right? And our girls will. We know they will. They're athletes and they're strong-minded, and they'll come out okay, I promise.
Well, it's time now to name our Magic's Computer Repair Player of the Game. Who are you going with tonight here in James Monroe?
I'll tell you, we talked about her keeping us in the game. You know, Kennedy Stewart kept us in the game all night. She, the turnover bug got her in the first half. She calmed down. Then she started making shots, and everything she made was a three. So she was, let's see here, 5 for 9 from three-point land. So, I mean, she kept us in the game with those threes, and she played hard. She gave it everything she had this evening.
Absolutely, she did. And let's wrap up the other scoring for Greenbrier East. I know she wasn't the only Stewart sister in double digits here tonight.
No, absolutely not. So Kennedy comes in with 15, Ryan White with 2, Cadence ended the night with 21, Caroline 3, and then Hannah Fuller, we talked about early, had 9 points early, and then didn't quite find the basket the second half, but she did end with 9.
And 20, you said Cadence had 21. 13 of those came in the second half as she, just like Kennedy, continued to battle and tried her best to keep her team in this game. But James Monroe just too much in the end, and the Mavericks score the 62-52 victory. Our next broadcast will come to you Thursday night as we make the trip over to Princeton for a big sectional battle. Greenbrier East won that first meeting with the Tigers, but just as James Monroe proved tonight, that doesn't mean anything now, as you've got to come back the second time and do it. We've got to go into their place just as we did tonight into the Mavericks place, so it should be an interesting one Thursday night at Princeton. Game time scheduled for 7 p.m. preliminarily, so we'll see. Should be on the air sometime around 6:45 with the Fritz's Pharmacy of Alderson Lady Spartan Countdown. But that's going to do it for the Cornerstone IGA postgame show. For Pat Williams back in the Radio Greenbrier studios, and for Eric Workman, I'm Cam Huffman saying good night from Linside.
The Bank of Monroe knows what it means to be local and support local. We are your neighbors. We grow as you grow. We are your local lenders, making local decisions. We are part of your community. The Bank of Monroe offers 3 locations in Lewisburg, Fairleigh, and Union with mobile and online banking. We are everywhere you need us to be. We care. Bank local with the Bank of Monroe. Visit us online, mybankofmonroe.com.